I imagine that one of these plants would be... I shall begin now. Watson, if you are at all optimistic to have dinner this evening... I find the behavior of predators... This plant becomes inactive after being drenched with alkaloid. This plant becomes inactive after being drenched with alkaloid. It closed again. I believe I saw a small cloud of gas. I wonder what secrets this plant is hiding. Perhaps if we agitate. It appears to open after... No reaction. It closed again. I believe I saw a small cloud of gas. I wonder what secrets this plant is hiding. Perhaps if we agitate
the plants would be capable of killing only if they were directly next to the victim and stimulated at precisely the right moment.
Let us take our caterpillars to the Colonial Collection Room. We may see things more clearly there.
It is too early, Watson. Our suspects will be there. Let us investigate Kew Gardens one more time and ask some questions. Can you tell me if you saw Mr. Montague Dunn on the day of his death?
Yes, of course. I met him, and he appeared...
What were you doing on the
After paying multiple visits to Albert, suddenly I observed that Mr. Dunn was not feeling... I clearly remember that it was around 10:30.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation. Your father's death does seem...
suspicious. Well, I was working in the seed house, taking care of something, or Lear Pontus, or... No, wait. Ah, these Latin names. And I spent so many hours trying to memorize them.
Did you see your father that day?
Yes. He came here with Mr. Hamish for his...
And then?
Nothing. They stepped out to the backyard. It was perhaps 20 minutes before 10 o'clock. Then about 10 minutes later, I saw my father heading for the dry...
And Mr. Hamish and Miss White?
Mr. Hamish visited me a couple of times. I also saw him returning from... But then he ran back here to me to tell me that my father was feeling...
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon.
See.
Can you tell me what Mr. Dunn was doing?
I can, but there is nothing. Tuesday is the day of his weekly visit. It was supposed to be at 9, but...
And then?
Well, he came in to say good morning. Then after that, he ran out in the direction. He was always in a rush during the incident.
And that was the last...
Yes. I stayed in the laboratory until 20 minutes to 11. When I heard the cries of Albert...
I joined them as soon as I could.
What exactly were you doing?
I was recording an experiment for my thesis. I only stopped my work once when Mr. Hamish visited me briefly around 10 o'clock.
You say you were recording an experiment?
Certainly. Please do. You will find...
Thank you, miss.
Everyone has gone, Holmes. The way is clear.
When Montague Dunn was standing close, panicking, and likely already hot, he rushed to the door. We already know the outcome.
Well, it is time to perform. The caterpillars could only fall from the... Our caterpillars are in place. I'll activate the ventilation system so that they fall down. Watson, stay here and observe.
All right.
Before starting the power is on. The power is on. The engine has started. The ventilation system is working. Excellent. This ventilation fan is working. Let us see if I can activate the other one. Perfect. Now I just need to find...
It worked perfectly, Holmes. Bravo. Now, if you could just help me to get rid of these caterpillars.
Perfect. Now we know how the murder of Montague Dunn was carried out, by activating both Albert's and Mr. Hamish's fans.
But only from Mr. Hamish's workplace would it be possible to see when Montague Dunn entered. Let's go to Scotland Yard.
Inspector, I believe that Martin Hamish is guilty.
Aha!
Very good.
Inspector, I came here as quickly as I could.
Martin Hamish is in the large glass house. There's no need to hurry.
Holmes, my God!
Yes, we found him like that.
Our messing around with the ventilation system didn't go unnoticed. Mr. Hamish realized that we knew.
Inspector, could you arrange the body, please? I should like to examine it.
The mark around the neck is very visible.
Holmes, his left shoe is unique. This anomaly is often a characteristic of...
A club foot. Bravo, Watson. That is the key element of this case. Something about this rings very oddly.
Why do you say that, Mr. Holmes?
Why? Because of Mr. Hamish's club foot. Oh, I deserve to be kicked from here to Charing Cross. I should have noticed it.
But, Mr. Holmes, I can't see why.
No, I don't suppose you do. You must recall that Mr. Dunn was locked inside the Colonial Collection Room by the murderer. If it was Mr. Hamish, he would have had to run up to his workplace to trigger the fan situated above it, taking into consideration the condition of his foot.
Well, it is still possible.
Perhaps, but it is rather strange that such a person as Mr. Hamish decided to base his plan on the speed of his gait.
You mean to say that somebody helped him?
So the suicide is questionable?
Correct. Mr. Hamish accuses only himself in his letter, and so the investigation stops.
Possibly an accomplice, then? That idea had not occurred to me, Mr. Holmes.
I have another idea, Inspector. Thanks to the testimony that we have collected...
With a timeline, such as we...
Precisely.
The map at the entrance of Kew Gardens should...
Let us analyze the facts and statements so that we may recreate the events of that morning. Let us summarize. Montague Dunn was poisoned. Martin Hamish was last seen at 10:10. This means that he has approximately 10 minutes. Albert also has 10 minutes to lock the door. Miss White was last seen at 10 o'clock.
Perfect, Watson. Now, let us...
But Holmes, how can you be certain that we'll find Miss White here?
It is obvious, Watson. Just use your brain.
I am using it. I do use it.
Now that the rope has tightened around Martin Hamish, Miss White must act to erase all traces of her implication. After the suicide of her accomplice, there is one final trace remaining: the deadly plants of the Divine Syndicate. She will be there.
Very good. Shall we go?
Just one moment. Now listen to me, Watson. I shall see her alone. You will conceal yourself behind her, quietly.
Whatever are you planning?
Nothing spectacular. The impulses of women have always been a mystery to me. But she is a bold one, and so we must be cautious.
All right. You can count on me, Holmes.
Mr. Holmes, good day to you.
You do not seem surprised, Miss White.
Well, I was expecting you.
Not for too long, I believe. So please tell me, as it is still unclear, who planned the murder? Was it you?
You were wrong, Mr. Holmes.
It was Martin Hamish, then. You managed to convince him to take on a more prominent role.
You could not be further from the truth.
You think that you can fool me?
You don't care what I think.
It is difficult to care about someone who is capable of pushing a man to his suicide. It is over, Miss White. The police will be here any minute.
Over, perhaps. One moment you were here, and the next, you were on the other side.
The other side? No! Stop! I beg you not to do this, Miss White.
Don't come any closer.
Please remain calm. We can help you.
Not one step further. Don't try to stop me.
Stop this foolishness. You cannot truly want to die.
No, it's too late.
Well done, Watson. She was not faking.
Miss White, you have no right to take your own life.
Dr. Watson? Did you just save me? Or worse?